Okay, you ready?
I think so.
Okay, let's get the ball rolling. Yo, everybody. How's everybody going? We are episode 2. We've made it to episode 2 already, Greg. That's awesome.
Wow. On a roll.
We are on a roll. So, in this episode, last episode, in episode 1, we talked about 2017, some of the cool stuff we did, some of the stuff we thought we could have done better on, right? And in this episode, we're going to be talking about 2018. And I'm super stoked for 2018. Hopefully it will be, I'm planning it to be my biggest year ever. What about you, Greg?
I can't wait. I'm actually really excited about it. I feel like a lot of the stuff that ran up at the end of 2017 is coming into 2018. I feel like I'm on better footings. So I'm looking forward to a lot of good stuff.
Sweet. So who wants to kick it off? You want me to kick it off? You going to kick it off? What are we going to do?
Well, I don't know. You can start us. You can start us off.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about. I'm going to go for the biggest one first. Okay. So for those that might not know, right? Well, everyone probably knows I've been on joeworkman.net selling all my RapidWeaver goods for almost 10 years. And what we're going to be doing this year is I'm completely rebranding everything. Now, hopefully you are a member of, right? If you're listening, you guys know that I have the Weaver Space community. And it's been growing for the past 18 months. And we have a lot of users. I think we are up to like 1,200 users on there now, which is pretty nice. It's a very active community. And I'm loving it. So I have decided this year that I'm going to be moving everything over to that Weaver Space brand. So over New Year's, I changed the Weaver Space, the main domain, over to like a splash page, like a coming soon page. And the user community has moved to community.weaverspace. And right now, what I am actively working with the myth and legend John Hawkins, the hipster weaver himself. He has helped me design the new Weaver Space site, and it's going to be pretty awesome. And kind of a related thing to that is I'm working on a new product called Dynamics, which is a plugin to Total CMS. And Dynamics is going to be basically like the database behind the new Weaver Space. Obviously, it's going to be all built with RapidWeaver, and all the data is going to be dynamic. Like, let me give you an example. Like right now, like if you look at my joeworkman.net RapidWeaver project file, right? I have like a RapidWeaver page for every product, and that's 150 products, right? And trying to maintain something like that, even though we have partials and before partials, we had templates, which I was, leveraging and whatnot. Like managing that many pages, just it sucks. Like, managing. What's kind of the biggest project you have? Have you ever had a project file that like had hundreds of files in it or pages in it?
Thank God, no.
Oh man,
I've seen them. They come across. I think I opened up a 1 gigabyte project file last week.
Yeah, they're nuts. Like it's, RapidWeaver, I'm so shocked that it handles things pretty well. But, if I want to change or update a product page, like knowing that I have to, go in now, granted, I built this all before partials, and a lot of that is much more easier now with great English. But a lot of that is much easier now with partials, but I built my site pre-partials. So, I didn't have all that cool stuff. And, but imagine if for all 150 products, I had one page in my RapidWeaver project that was my product page. And then, basically I published it to the site. And then when user requested a product, it would just Dynamics would, feed in the data for every single product, and that page would be built out. From the end user perspective, I'd have, hundreds of pages, but in RapidWeaver, it's just one. And, I'm excited for that. That's going to be really cool. And it will be productized, so it'll be available for everyone, which is cool because I want to make sure that everyone has this ability, not just me. So that's my big thing for 2018, my biggest thing.
Cool. Yeah, it's a ambitious undertaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Greg?
I had this kind of epiphany at the end of 2017, and something I really wanted to do. See, running a hosting company is really, really, really hard to distinguish yourself from somebody else, right? So you have to kind of market yourself differently. You have to talk about yourself differently. And something that I really wanted to do different was not just do hosting, but do bundles. And I wanted to build a set of services that users needed that they couldn't get it elsewhere. Mm-hmm. And so it's not just like hosting, and now I do email newsletter hosting. So I wanted to build a suite of services that a business or a small community, like a church or anything like that, could use to not just host their website, but manage their newsletters and email communications, market businesses, and really let people have the tools that they need to grow and not need to have all these other services and all these other companies. So that was really an interesting moment for me. And so I'm working on executing on that. So, now I've finally released the newsletter service in the beginning of 2018. And now I want to start marketing it and start, eating my own dog food, drinking my own Kool-Aid, and do better about newsletters and marketing and all that kind of stuff, because I am horrible at it. Horrible.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it definitely is something you got to learn to and force yourself to, I think the key to that, I think we're going to get more to this into the next episode, guys, when we talk about emails in episode 3. But really quick, I think, pre-planning all of that is kind of the key. You can't just fly by the seat of your pants. You kind of got to pre-plan all that stuff out. And that's something that I and probably most developers aren't too great at.
It's not necessarily in our blood.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, besides that, I'm hoping new chili dog hosting site.
Oh yeah.
I really want to make the amount of choices and the amount of options less confusing, easier, streamline everything. And I want to finally do Weaver Picks 4. I want to get it done. Cool. It's making it a stack, and it's going to be a big undertaking. I think it'd be really cool. Weaver Picks was probably my first big success in the Rapid Weaver space. Mm-hmm. So it's it's one of those labor of loves. So I want to bring it back and make it relevant again.
Sweet.
Yeah. Really looking forward to hopefully a prosperous and successful 2018 if, life doesn't get in the way.
Life. Oh, man. Yep.
Yeah.
So you're a single dad this week, right?
I am a single dad this week.
Oh, man.
It's 9 days.
Wow.
9 long days.
Sweet.
Tonight was night 1.
Are you more nervous or excited, or a little bit of both?
I'm not nervous. My wife and my mother are nervous. They're concerned, and my mother-in-law is nervous. They really don't think or don't know what the baby's going to eat for the next week. And then my wife left me a laundry list on the fridge of meals to plan. So, yeah. So aside from Dynamics, what else are you thinking about for 2018? You think that's going to take you the entire year?
So hopefully not, right?
Yeah.
So Dynamics will come along with Total CMS 2.0. And so the big update for that is the whole backend. I basically already rewritten the entire backend of a Total CMS. I'm not 100% done with it, but that is going along with Dynamics. So Total CMS will be 2.0 will be a free update to all existing users. Dynamics will be an additional add-on to Total CMS. and I'm hoping to have that out by summer. That's my goal. Originally, I wanted to be spring, but I think I'm going to put it off to summer, so I can have some extra long beta testing from users. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, I do have a bunch of stacks ready to ship when I launch the new site. So that's kind of exciting. It's just some smaller stuff, nothing big like total CMS. Just a couple 2.0 updates for some stacks that I've been wanting to ship updates to, and a couple other new stacks that I've built over the past kind of year actually, that I just haven't had time to release. So I'm going to release them all. I think I have 5 or 6 stacks now that will be new or major updates when I launch the site. So that'll be kind of fun.
Are you going to discontinue? You're going to trim down your 150 collection?
That is a great question, and the answer is yes. I some things will be going away. Some things I've already quietly removed from my existing site, or they're not removed. The web pages are still there, but you can't buy them anymore. So I have been doing that slowly. So some things may disappear when I release the new site. So yeah.
Yeah, I did that when I released Forms Plus. I discontinued WeaverBox. It was kind of Forms Plus was basically everything I could have thought of to do with WeaverBox. Being able to dynamically rearrange your form and do all the stuff that stacks let you do. Didn't make sense to offer it anymore, and it still had the functionality that WeaverBox had. The big thing about WeaverBox was that it allowed you to upload files that were larger than what your shared hosting company would let you do. Mm-hmm. And it did that by breaking your file up into small parts and uploading those parts onto the server. Yeah. And those pieces got joined together to form the original again. Yep. And Forms Plus does that. So it's like, well, don't really need WeaverBox anymore. So, and I also took out Weaver FM. I dropped Weaver FM from sale just because I haven't had the time and to dedicate to it. So I felt bad trying to sell something that I didn't have the resources, but that's on my list, but I don't know if it's going to get to 2018, didn't get to 2017. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. The big one a lot of other people are wanting from me is, the next version of Foundation. And that's definitely on my list. It's the reason I'm okay with maybe putting it off for as long as I have is that the current version of Foundation is still so solid, and that people haven't had any limitations. They haven't been striving and dying for features. They just want something new, right? And I definitely plan on bringing that. But I want to definitely make sure I take my time on that. There will be no upgrade path for anyone that is listening that hasn't seen my posts on this on Weaverspace. There will be 0 upgrade path from the current version of Foundation to the new one that I plan on releasing. They will be. It's basically like I'm because I'm going to rebuild it from scratch, and it'll be like a new stack set. So the current version will still live on, forever. It's not going away. You can keep it installed. It'll run perfectly in parallel with the new version. But if you want to update a site with the new version that I release in the future, hopefully 2018. No promises on dates on that. But you'll have to completely rebuild the site in the new stacks if that's what you want to do. So yeah, that's the big one that people are probably really wanting me to talk about on the podcast.
So why would you rewrite it from scratch and not leverage a lot of your work from?
Because there are a lot of things like changing of settings and rethinking how I've done things that you can't do that if you want to upgrade, right? Because the settings have to be the same, right? Because if I guess I could keep all this the stacks the same, but if I change settings from underneath, then I'm going to break a site, and that's not good either.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess to clarify, you don't need to you can release it and make it so it shows up as a different stack, right? But your underlying code could be largely similar.
Oh, yes. I'm not completely scrapping everything, obviously. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I am going to start from a new reference of mind in terms of strategy, and stuff like that. But yes, I will. Now the new version will leverage the latest version of Zerb's framework, because the current stacks use Foundation 5, and Foundation 6 has been out for probably a year now. And I have a pretty good relationship with the guys down at Zerb. They're a couple hours from me, but they are in the Bay Area, and I go down there a few times a year and have lunch with them and show them what I've been working on. And like I was there, I showed them all the email stuff because I use their email framework to build the email stacks. And so I do know they're working on Foundation 7. They had a couple internal things about 3 or 4 months ago, and they laid off some people, including their existing lead developer on Foundation framework. But they do have people still actively working on it. So that did kind of slow down the 7.0 release that I think we're hoping for to be right around now. But I'm thinking I'm probably going to wait for Foundation 7 obviously I'll start beforehand, but I think I'm going to wait to release everything until Foundation 7 is out, so that I just kind of leapfrog 6 and go straight into 7, and we'll be golden with that. That's kind of my thought.
Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next up, what else you got planned for 2018? You got your email service coming up. That's exciting. What else? You got the Form Plus add-ons and Weaver Picks you want to work on. Anything else?
Well, I haven't really talked about this or mentioned anything. I mean,
exclusive. WeaverRadio exclusive, everyone. Watch out.
The other things that on my mind that I think about a real lot is marketing optimization, in particular A/B testing. I think a lot about A/B testing, and I thought it would be really cool to have that as a service for people.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So what do you mean by A/B testing for those that don't kind of know what A/B testing is?
Well, let's say you're not sure if this button should be red or blue. So it would be really cool if half your visitors got red and half your visitors got blue. Mm-hmm. And based on, the number of users that click that button, you optimize that color. So if 50 people got red, 50 people got blue, but, the red one had a higher click-through rate, you'd go with red. So I thought it'd be really cool to have a service that would basically within RapidWeaver that would say, okay, I'm going to launch my site. I'm going to run this test, and that test runs and it does an optimization for you automatically.
Cool.
I think about optimization, stuff like that, and building better websites, marketing.
Yeah.
How I can maximize the, ROI, return on investment, for that kind of thing.
That's definitely something that, I've always wanted to look more into analytics and, see how I could improve my site via my looking at analytics. It's just something I never really do, to be brutally honest. Right? I look at the hits that I have. I use Piwik, right? I stopped using Google Analytics a couple of years ago, and they actually just renamed. They're like on Montera or something like that. If you guys are looking for Piwik, it's now renamed. I'm pretty sure it's Montera, but they have an A/B testing plugin, but it's quite pricey, and I haven't jumped into that boat yet, because I knew it's probably going to be something that I pay for and then not really look at, because
I don't know. It's something that really I find really cool. I have to really find out if the community thinks it's really cool.
Yeah.
But, it's one of those things where it's like, this would be really slick. And part of it's a technical challenge. So I'm like, I want to build and deploy a service that, has globally collects and aggregates data, right?
Yeah.
And really fast. So it's like a technical challenge. So we'll see.
It is fun, itching your own need, right? And
yep.
Like for example, Dynamics is a need that I've wanted for years, and I'm scratching my own itch, and just making sure that the way I do it, I'm going to be able to, release it to the world so that they can use it too, So yeah, that's always a great thing.
Yeah.
Oh, another, I can check this one off the list for 2018. Do a podcast.
Do a podcast. There you go.
See, wasn't that on your list? We could check that off, Greg.
It was.
Boom.
It was.
Done.
I've been dropping hints for a while, and I finally got you to commit.
Yes. Although I haven't built the site yet. I haven't finished the logo yet. So hopefully by the time you guys are listening to this, I'll actually have at least a community page on WeaverSpace done with so you can go ahead and post comments and questions there, which I didn't even mention in episode 1. How horrible of me. Right? That was just a bad podcast host right there. Man, we're such amateurs.
Bad marketing 101.
Man, such a bad podcast host. Okay, everyone. Okay, I'll make up for it now. Everyone go to WeaverRadio.com. That's our URL, right? Okay, good.
Yes.
WeaverRadio.com. Right as of right now, it's cheeky. It just forwards over to a community on WeaverSpace. It is on me. We will have a bomb site coming up this year. I promise you. It'll be amazeballs. Okay. So there, I've made that up for episode 1. Okay. So next thing on for 2018, one thing I want to work more on, which I think is one of my biggest drawbacks, is a lot of times I focus so much on making new products and improving new products that I don't work enough on tutorials and training, right? I think that I could do much better at that. I think I do okay. I don't do a horrible job, right? I do a ton of video. I don't do many FAQs or manual documentation. I'm just not a great writer, guys. I'm sorry. It's just not me. But video, I love doing video, and you guys get to see my awesome personality. Like, come on, like I have fun on videos. Like we have parties. Like how much more fun is that? And you get to spend an hour with me in a video. Come on. But whenever I do a video, like I swear, like I am going to. Okay, this video is going to be, I'm going to do this in 10 minutes. Like I'm going to teach this entire thing in 10 minutes. And then 45 minutes later, I'm like, thank you, everybody. It's like, oh man, there's no way I could cram that in 10 minutes. Like,
yeah, but I do a video. It takes me like 6 hours to get like 5 minutes of footage.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like 6 cuts, I have to do 6 takes on it. And
now, do you pre-plan your videos? So we're going off on a little tangent, but here it's okay. So do you like pre-plan your videos, or how do you do that?
Yeah, I read a whole script.
Oh wow! Like you are complete opposite of me.
Yeah, I read a whole script. I have my project file. I plan the screens. I make sure nothing's on the screen. I walk through it, time it, practice it. Yeah, it takes so much time. But documentation stuff is like that. I am horrible with. It's actually on this scratch pad in front of me. I was just too ashamed. I was just too ashamed to mention it earlier.
Hey, okay, so I'll give you a hint on one thing I'm going to attempt to use. So I found this app on the App Store. Actually, thank Mike Nixon for reminding me about it on WeaverSpace a few weeks ago. It's called Quiver, and it's kind of interesting. So it's kind of like Evernote, okay, in that you create, basically a notebook of notes, okay, but what's cool about it is it can store, so it's a centralized app that can have multiple, what they call shared notebooks. So I can have, let's say, a notebook for every single stack inside my Stacks Git repository. Okay. So the notebooks can be actual locations, different locations on your hard drive. Okay. And not only that, but the format that the notebooks are in is JSON. So it's programmatical. So I thought that was kind of cool. It's on my list of, after I do the website, I want to kind of revisit my doc portal and see if I can leverage this. And I'll keep you in the loop. If it's something, I'll probably try to build some automation so that if I, generate, FAQs in this thing, like it'll auto generate like a static site for docs or something like that based on that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
One thing I wrote for this is a tool that will just walk a website and take screen captures. So you can say, visit this page, click this button, and then fill out this form, and then take a screenshot. So I'm planning on using it for all the hosting stuff. So it'll log into the billing area, into a test account, go to different sections of the pages, fill in the appropriate fields with some values, take a screenshot, go to the next one, and keep going like that. So it's kind of like a automated way. So if the billing area, if I change the billing area theme, skin, colors, whatever, I could just rerun it and it will give me screenshots of my whole website again.
That sounds interesting.
Just haven't taken it to the finish line. We haven't completed these things, so I have to like actually get it done. It's that last quarter mile. That's the hardest sometimes. Last 10%, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another thing I had on my list this year that I have to give props to you for is, so one of my goals for this year was to expand my team. Okay. And by team, I mean so I hired a new bookkeeper this year and a new HR company and to do payroll. So I hired a company called gusto.com to do my payroll. And for my bookkeeper, I have bench.co. So they're online services, but they are part of my team now. I'm already in love with them. Like, it's
pretty nice, huh?
Dude, I didn't have to file payroll this year. Like all the forms, like I've been stupid. I've been filing my own payroll for like years, and like, dude, I can't tell you, man, how painful that is every year. Like I dread that. And Gusto was just like January 2nd or whatever, the first day was like, boom, we got all your forms done automatically and it's already filed. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I used to download like the PayPal things and try to reconcile the PayPal with my bank account every month, and it would take me 2 to 3 days to do.
Yeah.
Just having that account bookkeeping there is just lifesaver.
Yeah.
It's a lifesaver.
So I also got a new lawyer. So yeah. Are you familiar with, you ever listen to Max Sparky? He's like a Mac Power Users podcast. He's kind of, in the...
Oh, yeah.
So if you didn't know, he's a lawyer. So I've actually known him for years and knew he was a lawyer, but for some reason I never put one and one together and was like, I need a lawyer. Max Sparky's a lawyer. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I because when I talk to him and I meet him at conferences or whatever, we just talk about geek stuff, and I remember, so last year in 2017, he kind of went off on his own and he was a part of a practice, but he just kind of went off on his own now. And he's just, doing clients on his own. And he talked about that a little bit on the Mac Power Users podcast. And for some reason that episode, it was just like, it clicked. I was like, duh, like, why aren't I using David? Like, so David Sparks, everyone, Max Sparky. He's my new lawyer. He's going to help me out with like the contracts for the new WeaverSpace site and some other stuff. He had a little hiccup this weekend that I won't go into, and he's helped me out with that too. So
yeah, that's cool. It's always nice to have a good lawyer. Someone told me a good lawyer and a good accountant save you a bunch of money because just dealing with those kind of things is just not cheap. So having a good one is always always very good.
My next goal is kind of a personal goal, but I want to read more books this year. I used to be a huge book reader in terms of like, business books and self-help books and all that jazz. And,
me too.
And, I just haven't had the time to do it. I just felt like I didn't have the time to do that. So I want to do that more this year. So I created a list of like 50 books that I want to read this year, but I'm already way behind. I haven't even finished the first one yet. It's already March 4th.
Yeah. I just checked. My Kindle is in my desk drawer, completely dead. I think I've charged it like twice since I've owned it.
Yeah. Okay, but what I think I'm going to try to do to improve myself a little bit is, so have you ever heard of Blinkist?
No, what's that?
So it's an iPhone app, but it's a service. They have an iPhone app and a whatever app there everywhere. But what they do is they create audio and book summaries. So like, I was listening to the Tim Ferriss podcast, and one of his guests says what they do is they, instead of buying or listening or reading a book, to verify that they want to spend the time to read the entire book, they'll find that book on Blinkist, which it is a service. I think it's like $80 a year, right? But they'll listen to the 15-minute summary of Blinkist, on that particular book. And then if that intrigues them further to, read the whole book, at that point, they'll go read the book, So I just thought it could be an interesting thing for me to, maybe get into, consuming some books via audio a little bit more, in the car or whatnot. And then, making sure maybe I don't waste time on a book that I might not really enjoy, that I could potentially, weed out just by listening to a 15-minute audio or something like that. I don't know.
You know what I struggle with? I struggle with actually reading a book for pleasure. My entire, I don't know, it feels like my entire life, but I know it's only since college is all the books I read are technical books. Mm-hmm. So, and any book that I will pick up is going to be a technical book. So I don't remember the last time I read a book that's non-technical. It's, business, even a business book I consider technical, but I just can't read a book like a fiction story or anything like that. I get one chapter in and I'm like, all right, back to email.
Well, my problem is, normally it's like, I fall asleep easy, especially so a lot of times I have to read at night because that's kind of when I have I find the most time, after the kids are in bed. And at that point, it's like, I'm already so tired. And then you pick up a book and it's like 2 pages in, I'm out, it's like, so yeah.
Yeah.
Reading.
Well, sounds like we're both going to have pretty busy 2018s, I must say.
Yeah. Yep. So last thing on my list, you have anything more on your list? I feel like got anything else on your list?
No, the only other thing I'm on my list really is optimization and automation. I really have to do better about those kind of things because I need to be more efficient with my time and better use my time. I have an 18-month-old, so she learned the word running.
Just wait for the word climbing.
Oh no, she does that. She does
really?
that anyway. Yeah. She'll scale our couch. She picks up the ottoman and drags it over to the couch, climbs up on top of that, and then
Wait till they realize they can use the drawers in the kitchen as a ladder. And then they, oh man.
She's using the handles on the drawers.
Oh,
trying to put her foot onto it.
Oh, okay. So you're not far off.
Yeah. So I try to be much more efficient with my time because I have to have my eyes glued to her. So
yeah.
I'm working. I need to be better about automating what I can automate. Just in general, life strategy stuff. Those kind of things because it's hard to be a one-man show and get all these things done and be everything to everybody, right?
Yep, definitely. It's tough.
So that's on my list. Do you have any last items on your list?
No, I think I'm golden. Obviously we're going to be Weaver Space 2018 this year.
Yeah.
I haven't nailed out the dates for those, but I think I might change it up a little bit in that. So the conference will still be the same, but I think I might have like a mini conference, like maybe 2 months before, and then maybe schedule another one in the winter or something like that. I don't know. I got to decide on that really quick because it's coming up. It'll probably be around September timeframe. That's when I did last year. So it's September, October. I might do October this year, just because I think September people were still kind of just getting back into their kids were getting back into school and whatnot. So I think that was kind of a tough time for a lot of people. Plus, I chose I think it was Labor Day weekend or something like that. That was stupid of me. So anyway, I got to choose dates quick for that so I can get people to get that on their calendar.
Yeah, I know. I gave my talk and then went to pick up my mother-in-law from my daughter's first birthday at the airport and was running around. It was gave the talk and I was like, all right, gotta go.
See ya. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think we've wrapped up this call. I think we've hit our, we said we were going to do about 30 minutes and I think we've done it this call. So
awesome.
Yeah, that was it. Thanks, Greg. Awesome. I think 2018 is going to be a great year. I'm excited. Next episode, guys, we're going to be talking about email in the next episode and some of the
looking forward to it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, without further ado, everyone, I will be a good host this week. Go to WeaverRadio.com. Go ahead and leave a comment if you have any questions. If there's topics that you'd like us to cover in a future episode, let us know, and we'll be happy to take your ideas and answer your questions and whatnot. We don't have this on iTunes or anything yet. I'm sure we will. So go ahead and leave us a 5-star review, because that's what every podcaster says, right? So go give us 5 stars. And if you don't like us, don't leave a review, right? So
yes, we'll send you a link to another podcast to leave a review.
Yeah, there we go. I had to do it, Greg. I had to.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, everyone.
Keep it classy.
We will see you next week. Thank you, and happy weaving.
All right, later.